So today, I mean, I've had lots of people on my podcast. I am like beyond excited to have you today. So we have Bronwyn Conway.
Yes, Conway.
From Clarins, Ireland. Bron, there's nothing you do not know about skin. So I cannot wait to ask you like 50 million questions.
Thanks, Jenny.
So Bronwyn, like so many, like all of my bridesmaids, mothers of the bride, you know, friends, like everyone is into their skin now. You know, so much more than they ever were. And I, you know, on the morning of a wedding, like the bride has completely looked after her skin since the day she put that engagement ring on her finger. Where on earth do they start with all this? You know, like, do they just decide, okay, my skin's going to look the best it's ever looked? You know, when they decide to get married?
I know. And, you know, it is a long process because people want to look and feel their best on their wedding day.
Yeah.
And really, I think people should start when they get engaged.
Yes.
And it's because changes with your skin take time. You know, they don't happen overnight. And sometimes people think they focus on the makeup and they think, I'm not going to worry about the skincare. I'll just do a couple of facials in the month leading up to the wedding.
Yeah.
But really, the changes within your skin do take time.
Yes.
And, you know, what's really important is to build that routine, you know, to really look at what are the concerns or the issues I have with my skin, you know, what am I using now and how can I change that?
Yeah.
So I think that really all starts with a consultation with a professional because, you know what your concerns are, you know your skin. But a professional then will have a look at your skin and determine if what you're using is correct or what changes you need to make.
Right.
They'll also go through what's the routine you're currently following. You know, when you wake up in the morning, what are you doing with your skin? In the evening, on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So they'll spot the gaps and the tweaks that are needed in your routine. And then, as I said, it takes time. So,
Yeah.
you know, they say a minimum of 4 months, preferably 6 months. Because also as well, everybody can't afford to go out and just blitz the whole routine and buy it in the one go.
Yeah.
So it means if you're changing over from other products, you have time to do it and you can do it at your leisure.
Exactly.
And then I think it's, you know, it's enjoyable and we all like to invest in our skin. We all like our skin to look well. And on your wedding day, it shouldn't be a mask of makeup.
Yeah.
You're in a white dress. It just doesn't look well. So
It doesn't.
the glow has to come from the skincare and then the makeup is, you know, the final bit of the picture.
Yeah.
But so really I think it all starts, really the sooner the better because those changes do take time no matter what products you're using.
Yeah. I mean, they want to have this kind of flawless complexion and the amount of times, I have this amazing makeup artist that I work with a lot, Lisa Shannon is her name. And she would always say, you know, I'm great at the makeup, and I'm okay at skincare, but I'm no specialist. You need to look after your skin way in advance of getting married, you know. And
Absolutely.
one of the most important things is cleansing, isn't it?
Oh, you know, it's a good cleansing routine is the building block to good skin.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not new advice. It doesn't sound, you know, it's not the big, shiny,
Yes.
you know, exciting bit of advice. But people tend to bypass cleansing.
Right.
And the amount of women who've said to me, I put all my money into my serum, my day cream, my night cream, because that's what stays on your skin.
Yeah.
Your cleanser doesn't stay on your skin. But, you know, that sounds great in theory. But if you're using an inferior cleanser, it's full of sulfates and chemicals.
Right.
So it's stripping your skin, it's sensitizing your skin. And then, you know, the anti-aging products that you invest in, your serum, your day cream, your night cream, they have to work even harder to actually be effective on the skin. So it's really important you use a good quality cleanser that's sulfate free. You know, it should have an ingredient like soapwort or a natural surfactant, and that's the cleansing agent in it. Because when you think about it, you cleanse your skin 3 times a day. And I know sometimes people gasp at that.
No, I don't.
From now on, you will be.
3 times.
When you wake up in the morning and, you know, people think I cleansed my face before I got into bed so my face is clean. So they just splash it with water and then they put on their serum and their day cream. But when you're in bed at night, your skin secretes sebum. It's the natural oil that keeps your skin and hair supple.
Right.
So you're not even aware of it. But when you wake up in the morning, run your finger down your nose or across your chin. There might be a little bit of grease on the finger. So if
I thought that was just from the cream I put on the night before.
If you just splash with water, you don't break that down because there's no alkali. So then when you put on your serum, you actually lock it in. So it can cause little blemishes or blocked pores.
I didn't know that.
So it's a really simple step, but it's a step that can actually really change your skin over time.
Okay.
So like what I would use is we have a foaming cleanser with tamarind pulp acids in it.
Right.
So tamarind pulp acids are a really gentle fruit acids.
Okay.
So they'll never sting or make your face go red or feel tight. And even though it's a foam, it's sulfate free. To use that in the shower, it will take you all of about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Or you can use it, wherever you wash your face in the morning. But then when you apply your serum, it's able to travel deeper into the skin and it's going to be more effective.
Right.
They're those simple little tips that actually over a long period of time do change the skin.
Okay.
And again at night, we should really be cleansing twice. And I know everybody goes, oh God, because the routines just get longer and longer and longer.
I'm really only hearing about this cleansing twice at nighttime in the last while. Like, has that always been a thing, or am I just only sort of hearing it lately?
Well, when you think about it, if you do wear makeup, and normally if you cleanse once, it doesn't remove all the makeup, and especially if you're wearing SPF under your makeup, which you should be as well.
Okay.
So in order to remove that, we do need to cleanse twice, because if you cleanse once, and then if you use a toner, there's normally a bit of makeup on the toning pad.
Right.
So the first cleanse hasn't removed all of it.
Yeah.
So they say that the first cleanse is to remove your makeup, SPF and everything.
Right.
And the second cleanse is to actually clean your skin.
Okay.
So if people are in a hurry, and sometimes, we don't always have as long as we want to, invest in ourselves in the evening, we do a one-step cleanser. Right. So it looks like a toner, but there's a little bit of oil in it. So you put it onto dry cotton wool and you wipe over your face. And literally, that's the makeup off.
Right.
So then when you come along with your Velvet Cleansing Milk or your Total Cleansing Oil, then you massage that into the skin and either rinse it off or take it off with muslin, damp cotton wool, whatever you like. Yeah. Then your skin is beautifully clean.
Okay. And I love that sound, beautifully clean.
Yeah, but it is beautifully clean. Not sensitized, but beautifully clean. Now, the one-step cleanser is a great cleanser, and I know half the country is using that on its own.
Yeah.
But they're really, when you double cleanse like that in the evening, it is a game changer with your skin.
Right.
And as I said, these are changes, they're subtle changes that you will see over time.
Okay.
Because once you start that, it'd be like saying, I'm not going to brush my teeth anymore. It's very hard to go back because you will see the difference in your skin. Because it is, as I said, a good cleansing routine, using good products that aren't going to strip your skin or impair your barrier function. It is really the building block to having good skin.
And tell me, so I would have very dry skin, and I find when I use any sort of a soap cleanser, my face feels like a dried up rock afterwards. Is that the case with most soap cleansers?
Well, if there's sulfate in them, 100%.
Right.
So what you would use is something like the hydrating foaming cleanser.
Yes.
Something like that would be very good. But also, if your skin is very dry, and if you feel like your skin feels tight a lot, you really need an oil in your routine.
Yeah.
So the Santal oil will change your life.
And that's Clarins, Santal
Clarins.
oil. Okay.
So you can use it on, when you've cleansed your skin, dampen it slightly and you can apply it directly to the skin.
Yes.
Or you can mix it in with your night cream, a couple of drops, or mix it in with a face mask. But really, if the skin is dry like that, you have to incorporate an oil into the routine.
Okay. God, that's so interesting. And tell me, so when I'm sort of cleansing, I cleanse most nights, 6 out of 7. Sometimes I don't double cleanse. So I cleanse and then the next thing I do is put my double serum on. I put that on at night time as well and in the morning. I cannot live without that double serum. And anyone who's looking, well, honestly, like, and I said to Marita, who's my lovely pal in Clarins, if I, was stranded on a desert island and I could bring one beauty product with me, what would it be? And that would be double serum, because I just love it.
It's a real iconic product from Clarins. And you know what? I think one sells every 4 seconds worldwide. It's one of those global phenomenons. And you see when, all the beauty editors, when they do their own picks, it's always in there.
Wow.
Because it really does, what double serum does is it's 2 serums in one.
Yes.
So you have 2 actual chambers that release 2 different serums when you dispense the product.
Yeah.
Because there's a lipidic formulation and a hydric formulation.
Tell me, what are they?
So you know the way you have the oil and water balance in your skin?
Yes.
So some of the ingredients are water soluble and some of them are oil soluble.
Right, okay.
So you've 21 plant ingredients. And what it does is, you know, your skin from about the age of kind of mid to late 20s,
Yeah.
the 5 vital functions of your skin start to slow down.
Yes.
So it just means it's not functioning as well as it used to.
Right.
So what double serum does is it gets the skin functioning at full capacity again. It's working on a cellular level with communication and listening. So you can see like what you see on the skin. And again, you're right to use it morning and night on clean, dry skin. And what you see immediately is the glow and the luminosity you get from using it.
Fabulous.
But it's working on lines and wrinkles in the skin. It's working on colour changes, on open pores, on luminosity and glow. Like you really do see a difference in your skin.
Yeah.
And we all want that glow and that luminosity because that's part of our aging.
Yes.
You know, we start to feel that our skin looks a little dull and flat.
Yeah.
And we want to get that kind of vibrancy back in our skin again.
Yes.
But it is an amazing product. And we do have a really exciting new launch coming with that. So there's another texture coming out in double serum for people to try. So according to the oil content in your skin, then you can pick the texture that's most suited to you.
Right.
But definitely it would be one of my desert island products as well. Yeah. You have to have a good serum.
Yeah.
Because you know what your serum is it's your treatment. It's your intensive treatment. So it's like a highly concentrated product in a lightweight solution to enable it to travel deep into the skin where it's going to really change the skin.
Okay.
So it is, you know, for a bride, you know, like there's a couple of things that are essential. The cleansing routine, obviously a really good serum, you know, so to be treating whether it's anti-aging or hydrating or whatever the issue or the concern is. And then, you know, followed by your day and your night cream. But then there needs to be a weekly routine. Like how are you exfoliating your skin, putting a mask on? Because you can start by doing those kind of mini little treatments or facials on yourself.
Right.
And then as it gets closer to the big day, having treatments done as well.
Right.
Because we do a range called Instant Beauty. And I think this is really lovely because it's universal.
Right.
So, you know, there'll be a lot of people listening who have a host of different skincare concerns, different age groups.
Yeah.
So this really will be, these products are good for everybody. So you have, there's a tool. So it's a roller with the gua sha.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of these rollers on the market, but a lot of them they're very light and they just simply roll. Like they don't do a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas,
tell me about this. I'm dying to, because I have one of these at home and haven't even started to use it yet. So you're going to tell me how to use it now.
Yeah, it's absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've two ends. So one end, you have these little round rollers. They're little notched zinc rollers.
Yeah.
And they turn on the skin, but they have a massaging action.
Right.
So when you apply your double serum or your night cream, we have a simple rule of thumb that we work from the centre of the face out and down on the neck.
Okay.
So all of the Clarins application techniques are about lymphatic drainage. So all of your face drains to the lymph nodes in front of your ears, and your principal lymph gland is your neck.
Right.
So we take the roller and you start on your mandible or your jawbone and you roll out and then work up the face rolling out, and the same on the other cheek. And then with your forehead, you go from the centre out on both sides, and then starting from behind the ear, working down on the neck.
Okay.
Similar to how we apply our products. But then around the other three sides of the tool, it's a gua sha.
Okay.
So again, you would support the skin and work out. So what you're doing basically is you're stimulating the lymphatic drainage. Because, you know, your lymph is your secondary circulatory system. And your blood has the heart pumping it around the body, but your lymph has nothing. And it can become kind of stagnant, especially in females with hormonal fluctuations.
Of course.
So by you doing those drainage movements, you're encouraging the movement of that lymph towards the lymph node. So it's detoxifying. It's going to give you, it'll help stop breakouts. It'll promote radiance. But it will stop puffiness as well, because we do get a little bit puffy, you know.
Absolutely.
Around our jawbone, around our eyes, you know, the nice defined contours all of a sudden aren't as sharp as they were.
Yeah, of course.
So lymph drainage is all about that little and often. So you're doing it every day, a few movements, and it'll help with that bright, glowing complexion. But there's another product, and it's called the Beauty Flash Peel. This was launched last year, and I have to say, it's amazing.
Oh my God.
Because the whole Clarins ethos is about using products that respect your skin and applying them in that way as well. So like they don't believe in pulling and stretching your skin because, you only have one face and it has to do you a long time.
It does.
So you should treat it accordingly. And the Beauty Flash Peel is a combination of acids. So you have fruit acids and salicylic acid, but they're in gentle formulations. Because now there are a lot of strong active ingredients on the market. And I see a big change from when I started in beauty. And, Irish people, a lot of them can't tolerate them.
And retinol,
I know, it's like you're a second-class citizen if you're not using retinol on your skin. But a lot of people can't tolerate it.
Yeah.
And, the whole Clarins ethos is about using these ingredients, but not in a way that your skin goes bright red or is sensitized, or because you can do more harm than good.
Right.
And the Beauty Flash Peel, it contains acids. It's the simplest way to dissolve all your surface dead cells. 2 nights a week on clean, dry skin, you paint on a really thin layer.
Okay.
Let it soak in for 5 minutes, and then you apply your night care over it. That's it.
And that's it.
Couldn't be easier. And every age and skin type can use that product.
Right.
Your skin looks like you've had a professional treatment when you wake up in the morning.
Wow.
It's fabulous.
Oh my God, I have to use that.
And retinol, people, it's a buzzword. We hear a lot about it on social media. And, people feel like, oh my God, I need to be using this in my routine.
I'm not using it. I don't know an awful lot about it. I had like a little sample that somebody sent to me. I'm terrified to use it because I actually spoke to somebody last night and she said that she had put some on her face, and this lady is a beauty therapist, and she said she has a breakout now on either side of her nose because she put too much on. So I'm like, I'm never using that.
The thing with retinol is an awful lot of the doctors will say, if you wanted to achieve the effect, you have to go to a certain percentage.
Right.
And that percentage means you are going to peel and you are going to go red. And you need to go through that process of 6 to 8 weeks and come out the other side.
Right.
Now, a lot of Irish people just don't come out the other side because we've got a very thin, sensitive skin naturally.
Yeah.
We're a nation of kind of redness in our cheeks and broken capillaries. So, retinol is all about redensifying thin, aging skin because our skin thins as it's aging. So, Clarins don't use retinol. Their retinol alternative is called harangana.
Right.
So it comes from Madagascar, from a fair trade program. But what it does is, and we have all the studies to back up the claims,
right,
it redensifies thin, aging skin without the peeling, the redness and the downtime.
Sure, that's what you'd want.
Because there are alternatives. So that's in our super restorative range.
Right.
And also our total eye lift.
Yes.
One of my favourites is the Rose Radiance in the super restorative range.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
It's
Everyone
like a
needs
hybrid cream. Your skin looks better on application. And because there's a host of other ingredients. So you have harangana, you have peptides, you have vitamin C. It's just like out of all of the products, I'd say it's definitely my hero product for the day creams.
Wow.
Because we all like a bit of instant, you know.
Yes.
You put on your serum, you put it on, and like straight away, your skin is the best version of itself.
Yeah.
And you know, the products are all concentrated.
Yes.
And sometimes there is a tendency with people to use an awful lot of product. And you don't need to. You know, you take a little bit of the product, you warm it in your hands to bring it up to body temperature, and then you place it on the cheeks, the forehead and the neck.
And tell me,
you press it in, working out to because you're, again, all lymphatic drainage is press-release motions. So you're pressing out along your cheeks, out along the forehead, and then from behind the ear, pressing down on the neck.
Okay.
Because the neck is the principal lymph gland, and that helps to get everything moving in the head and neck.
Yeah.
So a little goes a long way.
Okay.
But it's, you know, they're excellent products. And, you know, as I say, you can see even when you go in on the back of your hand, if you, you know, apply a little bit from a tester, you'll see the instant luminosity that you see, which again is what we definitely want on our big day. We want that glowing luminosity that's coming from the skincare. And
tell me then, you know, for mothers of the bride, like they and mothers of the groom, like they want to look their very best on their, you know, son or daughter's wedding day. Like, what do you recommend they do? You know, because a lot of mothers, you know, don't look after their skin as well as their children do. Because I definitely think that this is a, you know, we're all into our skin now, you know, and especially in the last sort of 10 years, like it's a big thing. You know, so if a mum then wants to, you know, just change her routine, do you reckon that she should go to see somebody as well?
I would say exactly the same thing applies. Like, go in and have the consultation with a professional, because then, you know, you can talk to somebody on counter or the lovely new Wicklow store, Clarins Boutique.
Oh my God, I could
if
talk
you want
for
a really nice
Ireland
destination.
about this. Like, sorry now, can we just stop for a second and talk about that? So I went to the launch last week with my lovely husband. I was blown away. So this is the first Clarins store in Ireland and the UK, is it? Am I right?
Yeah. It's the first boutique. And really what it is with the boutique is, so we have 2 units on Wicklow Street. So one unit is like a retail stop, you know, store, but it's all from sustainable materials. Like, it's absolutely spectacular. And then we have the spa. So you have the open spa area for the short 30-minute treatments for €30. And then you have the 2 skin spa treatment rooms where we do the longer, you know, hour-long treatments for the face and body. But, you know, all the Clarins treatments are 100% manual. So it's all about lymphatic drainage. They're perfect for a bride and the mother of the bride in the lead up to the wedding.
Yes.
Because you know the way sometimes in the lead up to the wedding, it's a gorgeous time. Mm-hmm. And you want everything to be perfect, but it can come with stresses.
Absolutely.
People can get a bit, you know, they're spending a lot of money. There's a lot of pressure from people. What are you doing for this?
And they're organising an event, because it is an event.
Yes.
You know, and there's so many things that they have to organise.
So many elements, exactly.
So it is stressful for them.
It is. And, you know, when we get stressed, our system we get cortisol released in our system. And that causes kind of inflammation, it causes breakouts. So we do need to manage the stress levels, because we want it to be a really nice time. You know, we're investing a lot of time, a lot of money. So you do want to feel that I'm enjoying this, that it's not just turning into a big stress and my head feels like it's about to explode.
Exactly.
So a little bit of me time is a great thing to introduce. And even for the bride and the mother of the bride. And, you know, it doesn't have to be, because again, sometimes people fall into this thing of they feel they have to have all these invasive treatments that they've never done before.
Yes.
You don't. You start with that good skincare routine, and then have a couple of those nice relaxing treatments, you know, to relax you, to work on, the mind, the body. And then, you know, because it is a nice time to invest in yourself. So somewhere like that boutique in Wicklow Street is perfect, because, you know, it's the right type of treatment where they're going to invest in their skin, but they're also going to come out feeling recharged, relaxed, refreshed.
And ready.
Because, you know, because we do exactly ready for it, you know, that they're going into it in a positive way. And, you know, for the bride, for the groom, for the mother of the bride.
I know.
You know, because it is a special time, and you don't want to look back on it and think, oh, wow, I was just up to 90 the whole time.
Oh, why didn't I just go and get something done? And the thing is, you know, I would imagine an awful lot of people, me included, and I am totally going into Wicklow Street to find out exactly. I mean, I have all my lovely Clarins products because I'm such a fan. And this is not an ad, because I'm just addicted. Since I was like in my very early 20s, I've always used it. But you know, for somebody who has no clue about what to put on their face, they're better off just going in and your therapist can tell them exactly what they need.
Absolutely.
You know, they'll be able to tell them what type of skin they have. Most people don't know what type of skin they have.
That's the thing, they don't know. And also, you know, I think sometimes there's a lot of different advice coming from an awful lot of different platforms, and people are seeing things on social media and, you know, forgetting. You're much better off just to go into somewhere like Wicklow Street or a Clarins counter and sit down with somebody. You know, it's a complimentary service. They will, you know, they can remove your makeup and they'll put it back on afterwards, but they'll do a thorough skin analysis. They'll talk to you about your concerns and your needs, and then they'll build that customized program for you. Brilliant. So as I said, you know, not everybody wants to get everything straight away. You can get 1 or 2 things and then you have your program, and as you're replacing things, then you can, you know, move over. But, you know, it'll be about your cleansing routine, you know, your eye care, your serum that you're using, your day, your night, you know, your pollution and UV screen that you're wearing every day. Even, you know, maybe you're wearing a backless dress. Is the skin on your back okay? Does that need attention? And then, you know, it'll follow on through to makeup eventually. But it is just about building that routine, that customized routine for your skin, and then doing it in time to allow the changes in the skin to take place, because nothing happens overnight. It does take time. And, you know, week by week, month by month, your skin will just keep improving. So you'll have your your morning routine, your evening routine, and your weekly routine. And, you know, as I said, things like that Beauty Flash Peel, the roller, even Beauty Flash Balm.
Yes.
Like twice a week, I do the Beauty Flash Peel, let it absorb in for 5 minutes, and then apply Beauty Flash Balm. Jenny, you look like you've had a professional treatment when you wake up in the morning. Your skin is glowing.
So do you put that on at night time, the Beauty Flash Balm?
So Beauty Flash Peel first, because that's with the acids to dissolve the surface dead cells. But even if you're sensitive, because I'm sensitive, I have rosacea, I have to be very careful what I put on my skin.
Right.
And I thought with that, I don't know, will I be okay? Absolutely perfect.
Wow.
So let it soak in for 5 minutes and then you put on your Beauty Flash Balm. And the Beauty Flash Balm works like an overnight mask on the skin.
Right.
So your skin, like when you see yourself in the morning, your skin is glowing like you've gone to bed after having a facial.
Yeah.
And like that routine, it doesn't matter any age, any skin type. It will work. So, you know, they're just great things to have at home. And then, as I said, as it gets closer to the big day, you can start having a couple of professional treatments, you know, just to enhance what you're doing yourself at home.
Yes. And, you know, sort of in different salons, they do sort of, you know, they have machines that they put on your face and they do all this kind of deep cleansing. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about that. I've never had anything like that done. I mean, I've had lots of facials done, not for a long time. I'll have to get one of those done soon. But like, what is going on? Like, what are they doing? Taking the dirt out from underneath your skin? I've no idea what they're doing.
Some of the cleansing machines, I suppose, you just need to be a little bit careful if the skin is sensitive and it's a tendency towards redness, because, you know, we need to mind the little capillaries in the upper cheeks and around the nose and make sure we're not causing damage. So personally, I don't think you need to cleanse with a machine. I think a good exfoliation routine, so you have the Instant Beauty Peel to dissolve surface dead cells. That's the biological exfoliation. And then you have a mechanical exfoliation. And that's when we use little round spheres, fully biodegradable spheres, which will slough off the surface dead cells in a really gentle way. You're not going to scratch the surface of your epidermis or, you know, create any harm. And they would be the little SOS scrubs. So when you have both of those exfoliations in your routine, you're kind of, then you have a multi-tiered exfoliation routine at home. You have your biological and you have your mechanical. So to me, I wouldn't feel the need then to go in and get a machine exfoliation. I've had it before. And sometimes I get a bit panicky that I feel it can feel quite harsh on the surface of the skin. And I think, oh God, am I creating broken capillaries? Yeah. But now if you have a thicker, more sallow skin, fine. But you don't always need to. Sometimes brides have a lot of people, I suppose, in their ear saying, are you doing this and are you doing that? And you must do this and you must do that. Yeah. There's no need to go off and start doing a whole load of invasive procedures that you've never done before. Yeah. Because you need to be careful. Because that was a question I had for you. Like, do they need to do this? No, they absolutely don't. And sometimes there is, and people don't mean to, but they can put you under pressure by, you must do this and you must do that. And then you feel like, oh God, I'm not going to look well if I don't do this. Yeah. I would say be very, very careful not to do anything that's going to change the shape of your face that you might not like. Right. You know, you don't want to start going in and having injectables and then you don't like the way you look and you have to wait for that to wear off. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. There's no need to do things that you didn't do prior to before this, because you can look like the best version of yourself and have gorgeous glowing skin with just implementing a really good skincare routine and then the couple of treatments in the lead up to it. You know, the treatments that are going to really, I suppose, invigorate your skin, hydrate it, and also are nice and relaxing and refreshing for you in this kind of busy, kind of frantic time. And plenty of water. Absolutely. You know, we do need to, you know, you need to drink a minimum of 2 litres of water a day. God. And do you do that? I'm good on water, I have to say. Yeah, I am good on water. I think I'm a naturally thirsty person, but I do think it is very good for your skin because you're flushing out. You know, people are going to enjoy the lead up. They want to have a glass of wine and be able to go out and have a few nice meals and enjoy themselves. Absolutely. But just try and be a little bit mindful that you're eating coloured foods as well. You know, like I think, you know, our skin is showcasing what's going on inside of our bodies. You know, it's a sensory organ and, you know, you can't implement a great skincare routine and then have a really bad diet, you know, because it is going to showcase what's going on internally. So just being a little bit mindful about enjoying yourself, but just trying to incorporate some of the good things as well. And what
advice would you give the guys? Now, a lot of guys are like, oh, I'd never put anything on my face, you know. But I actually think some of the men are starting to really come around and they're minding themselves now. And
Absolutely.
like I would know even if I go to the groom's room on the morning for in a hotel and I'm looking at skincare going on. And again, like even up to 5 years ago, that just wasn't really done. But it's becoming more and more popular.
Well, for the men, we have a new barber's range, which is absolutely gorgeous, and they can use the whole routine. I know my husband's on it at the moment, and he was never somebody who was into skincare, and he was like, "Oh my God, that's actually really nice. I can see what what you like about doing this kind of thing." But even within Wicklow Street, the amount of men who've been in asking about the treatments.
Wow.
So I think that's kind of changed with men. Men are just as conscious of their skin.
Yes.
And men, experience the same things. They see redness in their skin, they see blemishes. They start to see puffiness around their eyes.
Yes.
And they want to look and feel the best version of themselves as well. They
course.
don't want to be standing beside their bride who looks stunning and looking at the pictures and going, God, I look kind of a little bit tired beside her.
Yeah.
So I do think that is changing. And I think now, I suppose it started when, when the men's ranges came out initially, they were probably more presents for people, whereas now men come in and they're asking about, the line control balm, the Hydrosculpt, to redefine the contours.
Yes.
So I do think that's changing, and I think they're just as conscious as we are, and they want to look good on the day as well. So, it was really telling to us, I suppose, how many men were in Wicklow Street and trying to book in for the hour-long treatments and the 30-minute open spa treatments.
Yeah.
So, the same with the men when they come in. What is their concern? They need to be doing the same thing. They need to have a good cleansing routine in the morning and in the evening. And men's skin is different to women's skin. It is thicker, it's oilier, but they want more lightweight textures on their skin, and again, things that will stimulate their circulation and bring about that kind of freshness to their skin.
Well, you
and
see,
vitality.
they don't want to look tired on a wedding day. And I would even notice, say, Martin, my hubby, when he gets tired, like, underneath his eyes get a little bit puffy,
Yes.
And I'm sure there's something that he could be using for that. He'd kill me for saying that now. But but I would notice it, not all the time, but just when he's tired.
There are, and like that, there's the energizing eye gel in the men's, which is great. And then they use the same application techniques or similar, where they're doing that press release to encourage that drainage in the eye contour. So absolutely. And they're the same. They need to kind of start putting the changes in place and give it that bit of time so that the skincare has a chance to do, because, it kind of is a marathon, not a sprint. You need to give adequate time to the products so that they can change your skin, because no product is going to change your skin in a week or two.
Not at all.
You need to have that minimum of 4 months, but I would say 6 months. And, it's all the more enjoyable when you have the time, and then, subtly over time, the changes are taking place. And no bride ever is going to stand there on her wedding day and say, I really regret putting that time into my skincare and having my lovely glowing skin on my wedding day.
Like you said it earlier, they want to look like the best version of themselves on the wedding day. And in terms of age, so even getting away from brides for a minute, like what is the best age to start looking after your skin? Because teenagers, do they look after their skin? Are they using Clarins?
I think sometimes with teenagers, I suppose, and even if we say like late teens, early 20s, your skin is probably at its best, because aging really hasn't really started yet. And, it's the time we take our skin for granted. And people are using things like wipes, or they're going to bed with their makeup on, or they're not, because they don't really have to think about it. But what I'd say is, obviously aging is in your genes, that goes without saying. But you can speed it up or slow it down according to how you treat your skin. And what you do in your 20s will come back and bite you in your 40s. So it doesn't matter how good your genes are. You want to, if you have that beautiful, plump, gorgeous skin, what do you want to do? You want to protect it and maintain it.
Keep it.
So, and not be keep it. So you do want to use a range like my Clarins, which is for teenagers and early 20s. And it's really about giving the skin what is good and healthy and taking away the toxins. And, we would use the analogy of it's like a healthy balanced diet for your skin.
Right.
So rather than giving somebody junk food constantly, you're giving all the fresh fruit and vegetables, and then you see the difference through that.
Yes, of course.
So it's all about natural products. And, you don't want to be using products that are full of chemicals. You do really want to mind your skin because it is perfect and you do want to protect it and you do want to maintain it. And, use the SPF on it. Because, people say to me, but I use SPF all the time. And I'm like, but did you in your 20s? Because what you did in your 20s, you start to see the effect of in your 40s.
Okay.
Because that sun damage is under the skin and it starts coming up to the surface of the skin.
And tell me, do you need to use a separate SPF? Is there SPF in the products that Clarins have?
Yes. But what
Not
I would
enough?
say to you is SPF is sold in moisturisers, I'd say really to satisfy consumer demand. Like if you speak to any dermatologist, they will say to you, it's possibly the most important thing to put on your skin.
Right.
What are the aggressors that accelerate your aging process? The sun and pollution.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important because this is what, you want to protect your skin. So UV plus is our kind of what we'd call a city block.
Mm-hmm.
So when, as I said earlier on, the serum is the intensive treatment that will change the skin. Then we come along with the moisturiser. So some of that is designed to work on the surface because obviously we need to work on the surface for appearance, for comfort, for texture. And then some of it obviously is going into the skin as well.
Right.
But then we come along with UV plus, and this is like the security. So this is stopping the things that are going to accelerate your aging, like the pollution and UV rays. Because we need SPF 365 days of the year. Because UVB, on a sunny day, it's UVB, okay, I need protection. But on a day like today,
Yeah.
the UVA levels are still very high.
Right.
They penetrate through glass and cloud. So when you're driving in the car, the UVA is penetrating through the glass.
Oh
it's
my
why we have
God.
more pigmentation on the driving side of our face. And we
Wow.
need that protection. And those UVA levels are similar in August as they would be in November.
Right.
So that's when we really need to have that protection.
So can I ask you then, is it like, when you go on holidays and you get a factor 50 for your face, is that what you're talking about putting on? Or is there one that you sell, or is there one that you can buy that sort of, lends itself to the moisturiser you're going to put on afterwards?
Okay, so you'd kind of have two. So you'd have your city block in the form of like UV plus, and then you would have the sun care range. So if you
Right.
were going on holidays to Spain or Italy, you'd be buying the sun range.
Right.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
The sun range is designed for you kind of taking large amounts of UVB, which is the burning ray. So it's protecting your skin against burning. Whereas UV plus is all about, it protects against UVB, but it's about UVA, it's about pollution. It's for when you're going in and out like of work and regular living,
Sure.
365 days of the year.
Okay.
So we would always say UV plus unless you're on holidays, and then you would use the dedicated sun care products.
Okay.
Because again, that's more about UVB and being stationary in the sun. But it really is a critical part of your anti-aging arsenal.
My
It
God.
has to be serum, day cream, UV plus. Using the SPF within the moisturiser is better than not using it at all. But the gold standard is to use a separate product. And a lot of people don't like wearing SPF every day because it can be thick. They feel it can induce breakouts.
Yes.
UV plus is like an invisible screen.
Right.
So it's not oily, and it contains Leaf of Life, which is like a patented Clarins ingredient. And Leaf of Life basically stimulates hyaluronic acid production in your skin from within.
Right.
So it's like it's making your skin self-sufficient, It's re-educating it. So the Leaf of Life is in UV plus. So it means that your skin, it's not drying on the skin, but it's also not heavy or oily and won't induce breakouts. Because the SPF that you don't notice on your skin, that you don't feel on your skin, is the one you'll wear every day.
Okay.
If people feel it's thick and heavy on their skin, they don't want to wear it every day.
So tell me then, so when you're applying your stuff on the morning before you go out, after you've cleansed twice, what do you do? Do you put that on first and then your serum and then your moisturiser, or what way do you apply it to your skin?
Serum, moisturizer, UV plus.
So that goes on last,
because think of it, it's like the armor, that's protecting you. So the serum is the intensive treatment, the moisturizer then, some for the surface, some to go deeper into the skin, and the UV plus is the protection.
Okay, and then you put your makeup on.
Exactly. You only need a small amount of each.
Yes.
You're layering product. The products are concentrated. And, you always warm them in your hands before you apply it.
Yes.
Why? Because it brings it up to body temperature and it'll enable it to go deeper into the skin.
Okay.
So you warm it and then you apply it to cheeks, forehead, neck, and then do the drainage pressure movements because you're pressing the product into the skin. You're not rubbing or stretching the skin.
And then one of the last questions I have for you is about, some of us have teenagers. And, I have a couple of marks on my face from years ago when I had chickenpox. Yeah. Are there any products that you can use if, say, you were a bride who did suffer from acne when you were younger? Are there any products that you can use to sort of to help those little marks on your skin? I mean, I know you probably can't get rid of them completely, but I'm sure there's something that you can use.
I think that's where the exfoliation comes into it because the more the skin is exfoliated, the less obvious they'll appear. No, you're not going to magically get rid of them.
Yeah.
But, that's where primers and things will come in to kind of make them appear less obvious on the day. But I would say definitely on that skin type, that instant beauty flash peel is essential. You can use it 2 to 3 times a week. Very, very thin layer, but that would be excellent for making them look less obvious. Alongside then using your SOS scrub, your mechanical scrub, because it's really important that the skin is properly exfoliated. And your skin then, it will look better and they will appear less obvious, and then the makeup will sit better on the skin. Amazing. And the products perform better because they can get into the deeper layers where they're going to be more effective.
This has been absolutely incredible. Oh my God, I'm actually speechless in parts of that. You are unbelievable. There's nothing that you don't know about the skin. Nothing. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm telling you now, everyone has got to listen to this podcast. I've been super excited about it. Thanks, so Jenny. Much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. That was lovely.